Now on to another feature enhancement in Review 12 that can benefit all of our users. We now have a new streamlined Reduce File Size interface with built-in presets, and under Custom Settings, you can now see Content Analytics to discover what is taking up the space in the file to help you reduce it. Finally, we've done a lot of work under the hood on this feature that will offer significant improvements in image compression and overall performance. Let's take a look. I've got a 26-page drawing set that I've opened up, and this was a scanned set. I've added some markups to it, and I'm about to send it to a team member when I notice the size is a bit too big to send by email. You can check your size under Settings, Document Properties, and you'll notice my file size here is about 29 megabytes. This is the time you want to run Reduce File Size. You can go up to the command bar to Document, Process, and select Reduce File Size. First thing it's going to do is analyze your file to get some estimates about how much it can reduce it. Once Revu is finished analyzing the file, an interface window will pop up, and one of the new features of Reduce File Size are these 5 presets that you can choose from to determine how much Revu will compress the file. This ranges from the setting all the way to the left, which will offer you the highest image quality but with the least file size reduction, to all the way over here to the right-hand side. This setting will offer the most significant file size reduction, but it will also affect your image quality. You can see here at the bottom, Revu will give you an estimate of the before and after size and the percent reduction. This is actually a conservative estimate. Most of the time, your results will show even a greater reduction in size. I'm going to go ahead and select the middle setting, and then I want to do some additional edits to these settings, so I'm going to click on Edit. This is the Advanced Edit box, where you have maximum control over what is compressed. Let me draw your attention to a very handy analytics feature at the bottom. This color-coded bar will show you exactly what in your file is taking up the most amount of space. You'll see in my file below, the vast majority is caused by images, which makes sense because this is a rasterized or scanned file. To a smaller degree, space is taken up by color spaces, and a very, very tiny bit by the document structure itself. I can now go in on a very granular level and decide how I want Revu to compress this data. Since most of my file size is taken up by images, I'm going to go in here to the full color and 8-bit color images and reduce the DPI, or dots per inch. You can see I have 146 full color images. I'm going to take this down to 72 DPI. You can see the original DPI it was scanned at is 300. I'm going to keep the image quality as medium, and the majority of my images are 8-bit color. I have over 1,700 of them in this set. I'm going to also take this down to 72 and keep the image quality as medium. So you can really get in here on a very detailed level and adjust how you want your file to be compressed. If you're regularly working with the same types of files, you might want to experiment with the custom settings to find the right balance for your needs. Once you have that, you can hit Save and save this as a reduced file size profile to be used over and over again. I'm going to call this Valley College profile and say OK, so I can reuse those settings. Once you're satisfied with everything, hit OK, and then hit OK again, and Revu will ask you to save the file, and then it will begin the process of reducing the file size. Depending on the size of your file and how many images are in it, this could take anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes. Once completed, you'll see a window that shows you the results and what percentage the file size was decreased. In this case, I went from 29 megs down to 8 megs and at a 72% decrease in file size. You should see a significant improvement in overall performance from previous versions of this feature. Reduced file size is supported by our batch capabilities. You might save yourself some time if you have a whole folder of files that need to be reduced. You can go up to the command bar to File, Batch, and then select Reduce File Size. You can set up your compression profile, add all of your files, and then set it to run while you go to lunch. That's it for Reduce File Size 2.0. Try it out, and we'd love to hear your feedback on how it's working for you. Thanks a bunch.